Well, we are windy Mindy today. The sun is finally starting to come out. We've been pretty overcast all morning. It was pretty cool. Oh, just touching that 30, 32 degree mark this morning. Forecast was to open up for about maybe 60, and I think we might make it yet. I was a little apprehensive for a while. So I'm right after dinner time, noontime, and kind of gave us some time to warm up. I worked on that store ceiling. I have everything done but one tile, and I'll have that finished. But this water tank here, as you all know, has a 3,000 gallon tank inside of it. And last winter, I did an experiment. I put straw bales around the base of it, and I have a solar panel that I have hooked up in the past when I initially designed all this, but I didn't put it on, if you remember that. And when we got to that 20, 25 below, I have a 2-foot section that runs lateral out of the tank before it goes down and then down to the corrals. Well, that 2-foot section froze up and I lost my water. So I put my solar panel back on because on that down pipe I have heat tape wrapped around it, and within 24 hours that was back open and running again. So this year I'm going to do the other test. I may put some straw bales around this portion here. This is where I have access to my down pipe. And I'll probably put bales in front of my door because that takes the brunt of the north wind. But I'm not going to put bales around the whole thing this time. I'm going to a little more permanently attach my solar panels to the building and try to get up high enough to where occasionally the cows do get in here. I want them to be not able to mess with that. So I want to mount it permanently to the side of the building, whereas before I've been just kind of propping it up and making do, which I do pretty well sometimes. I'm going to put my battery in this little well house deal, whatever it's called, and my charge controller so that it is not in this 20, 30, 40 below weather. It'll be warmer down in there, which I guess is good. And I want to just wire in a switch where I can turn my heat tape on and off when we hit that 0, 10 below area. I'll probably just turn my heat tape on and see how that works this winter. It is so windy out here, I may not be able to use this mic. I'll try to put that little fuzzball thing on the camera and see if we can make this work. It's not that cold, but it's sure windy. was just about more than I wanted to handle in this wind. It's kind of like a sail. But I'd kind of counted on the wind pushing it to the building, and it kind of worked. It's up anyway. So I need to build a bracket, and I want to put the battery and the charge control down inside this pit here to where it'll be a little warmer through the winter. It's been in that 25 to 35 below weather for the last 2 winters, and it's still functioning, but I guess electronics don't like cold. So I'm going to put them down in that pit. Well, I haven't opened this up for 2 years, so who knows what's down here. Well, this insulation has settled quite a bit, more than I anticipated. You see my downspout there is exposed. Maybe that's why I froze up last winter, huh? That silver insulation there, that's where my heat tape goes. So that's been exposed, so I need to button that back up again. That might have been my problem last winter at 25 below where I froze up. But I'm going to attach my battery to the wall here. I built some brackets to hold that, and I'm going to re-insulate that, button that up a bit. So I can work a ladder down here and get to it. Well, I'm a little crowded for space. My battery, I made an allowance for 2 feet deep, but I made a platform that was 16 inches, and that's wider than I need. My battery is only 12, so I need to trim this down. If I put this big plate in, I'm going to shut off my access, and I may have to put some kind of boards or something in order to keep that insulation up in place. So back to the shop and do some reconfiguring. Need some boards somehow that I'm gonna be about 28 inches across. Piece of plywood or OSB or something to slide down, at least along the top here. Keep that insulation in place. Made my shelf brackets 16 by 16, but I'm going to have to trim this off at 12. That'll go underneath my plate. I'll sit my board on top of it, trim my board down. I think I'm going to leave my battery here. This thing weighs a ton. Take my brackets back and chop those off. I'll button this back up for the night. Well, we're a whole lot colder today, probably by 15 degrees. We're back to overcast again. The wind is out of the north, where yesterday the wind was out of the south and pretty decent. Cool today. We've got some storm that's supposed to be coming in tomorrow and Thursday. Kind of why I wanted to button this up. I've been pondering overnight what to do. I'm going to take these 2x4s and screw them to both sides of my well pit there. Remember, I have 6x6s laid down. And then I brought some slats out that I'm going to cut and screw to the sides of these and make a slatted wall to help hold that insulation into place. Then I have my charge controller here, my battery, I have my brackets. I did trim those off, so they'll hopefully work a little better. See if I can get this buttoned up before it's not really winter setting in, but it's going to cool off. Definitely much colder than it was yesterday. You know, my makeshift fence around here was supposed to be just makeshift. The goal is to set some posts. I've got an extra gate I'm going to put in here and make this a little permanent. But as you all know, I have a lot of irons in the fire. Well, down into the pit, there was quite a bit of mouse tracks through that insulation. I do keep my eye out for black widows. I saw one little black spider kind of scurrying away. But so far, so good. My 2x4s are about 4 foot long. I think that's going to give me plenty enough to put my little wall on. See if I can't get those figured out. About 6 foot deep down here, so kind of a deep hole. That'll give me some nailers. If I just put strips across here, I'll be able to hold that insulation in place. Looks like about 28 inches would do her. I brought enough to make 6 slats. So this was some ash slats, similar to the size that I make wagon bows out of, but I had some extra ones there. Well, that'll work. But since they're ash, I'm going to have to pre-drill them to put my screws in, or I'll split them all out. Got some more insulation in my house down there. I'll just stuff down in there and fill that up. That should make a pretty tight seal to my downpipe. I'll add a little more to the bottom here once I get out of here. My ladder's going to be in the way, isn't it? Now this battery came packaged and it has 2 layers of 3/4 inch styrofoam, and I'm sure it was meant to protect the battery in shipment, but I've left it in this box for insulation's sake. So it's a little bigger than it needs to be size-wise. Okay, there's my positive and negative terminals on that end. put this charge controller on one of these slats here. Giving me as much access here as I can get. This cord here actually goes to my heat tape. This will go from my charge controller to my battery. And then I have cables from my solar panels that will also come into the charge controller. And in here somewhere, I need to get a 12-volt on-off switch wire in, so when it gets cold, I can just quick open this up, turn my heat tape on, close it back up. So I've got some more insulation, 12-inch. I'm going to drop down into here, fill that up, and kind of maybe top this off. I may not top it off till I actually get wired. I'll button that up a bit, give me room to wire that up, and then I'll just top this off with this insulation. Make those mice nice and warm, huh? Well, last winter I just assumed everything was the same as the winter before, and we all know assumptions are kind of dangerous. But I like the looks of this a little better. It does make it really difficult to get down in there, but I really don't need to get down in there very often. Maybe just open it up and check on it. This should keep my charger warm, should keep my battery warmer. So maybe this will be a little better approach. I might still come and put bales around just to kind of tighten that up. I don't know. Anyway, it's installed. I still have to wire it. Kind of learning as I go. But now this will be the third winter using this method. And so far, it seems to work. If you got any ideas or tidbits maybe where I could improve a little, you can always let me know. Appreciate you coming along. Thanks for watching.